Hey, welcome to AAA Wednesday, which is my weekly Q&A session where I'm responding to questions you've left in the comments about the publishing industry and how to write a better book. Thank you so much to everyone who is engaging with these sessions, and keep all the questions coming so I can continue to do them. Today, I do have a little ball of fluff behind me, so if you notice that, don't mind him, that is my dog Luca. If you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I promise you won't regret it. We've built an amazing, supportive community of writers here and would love to have you join us. Before we get started, please also hit that thumbs up button because it helps out with the YouTube algorithm in ways I don't understand, but it really helps my videos get more viewers. The last piece of housekeeping I want to bring up is my free story self-assessment worksheet in the description below. It is a resource I designed specifically for my YouTube community who has a book project. I know it can be very hard after you finish your draft to know what's good about your book and what needs more work. So that's exactly why I created this resource to help you sort through that and determine a path forward for making the book even stronger. Downloading that resource is going to opt you into my exclusive newsletter where I interview publishing industry insiders and successfully published authors. They're giving some amazing tips and insights, things I haven't even thought about before, so you don't want to miss out on everything they are saying. If you want to check out the past installments, the link is also in the description. Here's the first question. Could you talk more about drama versus melodrama? Where is the line? When it's okay amount of drama and when character overreacting? How to find out when we are getting close to soap opera stuff and how to fix it? It can be so hard to determine if you have the right amount of drama in your story or if you are veering into melodrama territory, which can ultimately turn readers off. One easy way to spot melodrama in a novel is to look for overdone exclamations. If you're using a lot of ellipses or a lot of exclamation points or multiple exclamation points after one sentence or all caps, typically those are moments of melodrama. And the drama of the moment will register just as strongly if you have a period or lowercase, or you cut some of those exclamation points and only have one exclamation that the character makes. When you feel yourself veering into those techniques, it seems like you're trying to overstate the character's emotion, and that can be where melodrama lies. When you're reiterating emotions that are already very clear from what's going on in the scene. Remember that your reader is smart and is going to pick up on the emotions of the moment themselves. So don't hit them over the head with it, because that's when the narrative can start to feel like a soap opera. Now, sometimes it can make sense for your character to be overly exclamatory if that is in their nature and their personality, but in that case, make it clear that that is a character trait you are deliberately portraying, rather than you as the author pushing melodrama into the narrative. Here's the next question. I've had little luck with beta readers. Okay, I've only tried once and I didn't pay, which I think probably helps. However, I'm part of an online writing community where I get great critiques. I think the critiques make up for the weak betas, except I think the writers in the writing community tend to echo each other, except of course for me, whose cranium has been used to break down moderately thick wooden doors. Are critiquers and beta readers interchangeable, or should a writer really have both? There's a lot of confusion between different places you can get feedback. A beta reader versus a critique partner versus a professional editor. While all of these people can provide feedback, they are all coming at it from a completely different perspective and with a different intent, right? So let me walk through all three of these different scenarios. With a beta reader, the idea here is that you are testing out your potential reader for the book. So if you're writing a romance, then ideally your beta reader is going to be someone who loves romance. And the feedback that they are going to provide is not necessarily from the perspective of an author, someone who understands the craft of writing, or someone who is a professional editor. They're coming at it from a reader's perspective. Here's what the reader needs to see for this to fit within the genre. Or, a romance reader wants X, Y, and Z, but you're not delivering on X, Y, Z. That's what a beta reader provides. Now, a critique partner is a totally different arrangement because a critique partner is typically also a writer. So they are coming at your story from that lens, and they are not necessarily someone who writes within your genre. They might also not necessarily be a reader of your genre, though they might be. It's not a requirement that your critique partner reads and or writes within your same genre, but they should be able to at least understand what you are trying to accomplish and they should be able to provide constructive feedback. Typically, in a critique partner setting, you are also providing them feedback, so it goes both ways. A professional editorial collaboration is something else entirely, because in that case, you are hiring someone for their professional editorial expertise, not necessarily because they are also a writer working on a book, and not necessarily because they are an avid reader of your genre, though your professional editor should certainly have experience editing your genre. You can get excellent feedback in all three of these different scenarios, but the key really comes down to making sure you're getting the type of feedback that you want. For instance, a professional edit is going to look very different than a beta read. It is going to be much more comprehensive and much more practical in giving you specific suggestions on how to improve your work. And it's very important that you find someone who really gels with your story and understands what you are trying to do. We have time for one more question today. When I do start querying and I get a request for my full manuscript, what is the appropriate response to send them? I want to be personable and thank them for their interest, but I don't want to be overbearing or come across as too hopeful or as though I have overly high expectations for representation. Getting that full request from an agent can be so exciting, and you're eager to send them the full manuscript, and you're really eager to hear what they think about your work. But don't overthink the email that you send them, honestly. Just keep it short and sweet and professional. Say, as you requested, I'm attaching the full manuscript here. I'm looking forward to your thoughts. That is completely fine. That's all that it needs to be. What I would not recommend doing if an agent requests your full manuscript is giving them any sort of deadline for reviewing the manuscript. Agents are notoriously backlogged and very overloaded with queries, and unfortunately, reviewing new authors' work falls to the end of their to-do list. So it could take a few weeks, it could even take a couple months or more for them to actually sit down with the manuscript in the way that they want to. So I wouldn't put any pressure on them to respond in a given time frame. Unless you get an offer of representation from another agent, that's when you can put the pressure on them a little bit and say, I have this other offer, I need to decide by this date. Please let me know if you're interested in moving forward. When you send along the manuscript, you also don't need to send along any other materials unless the agent specifically requests it. So you don't need to send along all of your plot outlines or a more robust author bio or links to your other works. Just send them the material that they requested, which is the manuscript, and wait to hear back. Thank you so much to everyone who asked questions today. If you have something on your mind, please drop it in the comments here and it will be added to my queue. Before you sign off, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and grab your free story self-assessment worksheet and check out my newsletter link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching and happy writing.